Thanks for stopping by the Marita Minutes. Before I get started, I'd like to say that everything on my channel is alleged and, in my opinion, and done for entertainment purposes only. If you are new here, welcome. To all my new subscribers, thank you for joining me on my journey. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's free. Now let's get into it. Y'all, I need y'all to explain something to me. What was Bravo thinking? I mean, have they lost their minds? And I say that to say this. Who thought that it was a good idea to commemorate 10 years of being on the air by showing flashbacks from their past and all of them being negative? I mean, you have a group of ladies spread across the stage and you're commemorating 10 years of them being on the air. And the first and the second and the third clip are all negative clips. People getting into it, people fussing, people arguing. You would think that were there not any clips of them getting together, getting along, being happy, having fun? None of those clips were there. None of those clips were available. Now I understand this is the first episode of the reunion, the first part, and maybe we'll have some positive clips. I hope we have some positive clips going forward. But I felt some way about that. I mean, you have a cast of Black excellence on the stage, and this is how you commemorate them. Not feeling it, Bravo. Not feeling it at all. I probably would have approached it differently. My idea would have been, you know, the ones that have the hostility and that are not getting along on the panel. So, excluding Sweet Tea, because we know that this is her first year, if Simone and Quad were close at one point in time, I know there's some footage of it. Why not show that? Why not show when they were friends, when they were getting along, when they were being there for each other? I think that would have helped aid in them getting back to that point if that was shown, not them screaming at each other on this panel. Now, I get that sells and people want ratings, and rating is the only thing that's on people's minds. But for the mental health of these ladies and for their relationships, I would have put a pause on those negative clips and focused on positive ones to show them this is where you all were. Now, Toya got it, and I think she got it when they first showed that first clip of her and Simone getting into it and coming to blows. And Toya said that hurt her feelings because that's not who she is now. I think they took that from season 3. There's season 10. You're not gonna. I was turned off by that. I was turned off by that, and I don't think that they did those ladies right at all by bringing in those negative clips. My opinion, and I'm entitled to it. So, I mean, because even if Dr. Heavenly, she is messy all day long, and she even admits that she's messy. Even she was like, when they were turning and getting ready to go to the third clip, she was like, "Oh Lord, what are we going to see now?" They were like bracing themselves for it. Why? Why do we have to brace ourselves for what you're about to show me about how I was acting 7 years ago? Cut it out, Bravo. Anyway, so as far as the reunion itself, they go along panel and each one of them talks about, whatever they experienced in this season. And I think Sweet Tea's new to the group, and I believe she was kind of manipulated and coming on the show based on the rumblings of the YouTube streets. I mean, I don't think that was broadcast on the show, but you know, Dr. Heavenly has a channel. Sweet Tea has done numerous interviews. So she talks about how Dr. Heavenly kind of coaxed her in to signing on, because Dr. Heavenly was being producer. She knew that would make good TV, especially if Quad was coming back. It was a good recipe. And I said that in my first video that I ever posted. That's when I first started to come on to YouTube. And I felt like I wanted to talk about it because, like I said, I had never watched the show in its entirety. I mean, I've saw, different scenes here and there, and I knew who people were based on them coming on What's Happening Live. But as far as watching the show, I wasn't invested in it. However, I thought that that was a good recipe. You know, I thought that was a good recipe, bringing on the new wife with the ex-wife, right? As it's played out though, you know, you get to kind of feel out the personality of people. And I don't know if that was such a good mix because Quad, even though I was standing for Quad, I was upset how they treated Quad, how they kind of like dismissed her and like told her to leave the trip. Um, and I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, why she wasn't in any more episodes, but I felt bad for her until this reunion. And I don't know why. I don't know. It's like I saw her in a different light. Every time she broke down crying, or supposedly crying, or water would well up in her eyes, that water dried up so fast. Not one tear came down. Now, unless they edited it out and hurried up and fixed her makeup, and then she came back, like was no streaking or nothing. It was like she was totally different. Now they could have cut it out, and got her stuff together and everything and came back and filmed. But because I'm just thinking about the different ones that she was crying on. She cried. She was welling up when she was talking to Toya. She actually a really that was sound like a sincere apology to Toya. But it seems like whenever she apologizes or she admits that she's done something, she always brings it back to herself. It's like it's all, well, I was going through stuff too. Even when they were talking about Jackie's ordeal with her being, you know, people trying to cancel her based on the comment that she made regarding African American women and playing like they're sick and they're not, and not believing them and all that kind of whatever. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know what she said. Something to that effect, which went totally left. And Dr. Jackie had made a comment that everybody on the panel had reached out to her except for Quad. And Quad basically told her she didn't because she had talked to Heavenly, and Heavenly said that she didn't think it was a good time for her to call Jackie because it wasn't right. Now, Simone jumped up, and I thought Simone was wrong for doing it. She said, why would, I don't know if it was Simone or Toya, but she was like, why did you have to get, I think it was Simone, why would you have to get permission from Heavenly, not knowing the situation? And I thought that was horrible. And she said, I don't need permission from Heavenly. And then Heavenly chimed up and said, no, I called Quad. She said, because when all that came out, we all thought that Quad had her hands in it with the footage resurfacing. It never left anywhere. It was always on her page. But people picked it up, looked at it. People go back and look at old videos. Quad didn't have to do that. Why would she do that? And then put it out there. So anyway, she made a comment saying that after talking to Heavenly, because that people were thinking that she had her hand in it, that's why Heavenly told her, well, I don't know if this is a good time for you to call her right now. So she didn't call. But initially she said, I didn't call because I was going through some things too. So, she always puts it back on herself. And I guess that's where Simone was coming from, because her thing was, when everybody has an issue where people kind of rally around each other, except for Quad. And when whatever the tragic incident that happened at Quad's house, I think with her niece being in a pool, I think she may have drowned. I'm not really sure of the details, but I know she passed. And Simone had to bring that up. I don't know why she had to bring up that. She just could have said with the tragic, passing of her relative. I mean, she didn't have to. I don't know. It's just the way she could have did it. She didn't do it right, and I think she did it like that on purpose. But her thing was, we were there for um Quad. She said because that's what we do. And her thing was, Quad has never invited me to her house. She said I think that was the first time I think she had gone over there. But she said since she's never invited me there. If we're supposed to be friends, she said, you know how many invites I've had? Zero. So Quad just acts like, I don't know. I think if I had more of background with Quad and watched the show, because we'll probably have to binge watch the other seasons. And I like to binge watch, so I may do that. But I got the feeling that they all picked on Quad like they picked on Sweet Tea. Not to the degree that they pick on Sweet Tea, because Quad isn't that much younger than they are, but because she's not a doctor. And I don't know, it was something they used to go at Quad on. I can't remember now. But anywho, um, yeah, I kind of understand where the girls are coming from. Even when she was addressing Toya and gave her that sincere apology, you she still kind of brought it back to herself, you know? So, yeah. So, I mean, the whole thing was, nice. And then they talked about Phaedra. And then Phaedra talked about how Quad was talking about her behind her back. Everybody was talking about each other. Heavenly was talking about Phaedra. Phaedra was talking about Quad. And they all don't seem genuine with each other as far as I'm concerned. I mean, are they friends? No, probably not. But Quad brought on the show, or she knew Quad first, I guess. I don't know. But now that Phaedra's in with the other ladies, I guess her thing was she not attaching herself to the Titanic. This ship going down by herself. And I don't think those ladies are friends. And what Quad said was true. When she went to Napa on the trip with Toya for her, I think Kendall Jackson wine or whatever campaign or whatever, she said out of her mouth, and I don't know if the cameras were rolling or not or whatever, but evidently she said it to the group or at least to Sweet Tea and Toya that she was only there for the check. So Quad made it seem like, well, I didn't think you really wanted me there, so that's why I said, I don't know, maybe Quad puts up a wall. Her thing was, I don't care if y'all want me here or not, I'm here to get paid. I don't care. But in actuality, she really does. You know what I mean? And that's just her way of, shielding herself from being hurt or whatever. I don't know. I can't call it. But so that's what they talked about. And Toya talked about, you know, not donating to the Met Gala and how she donated her wine that was given to her. So she really didn't come out of her pocket with anything. Plus, sold her wine, was up standing there as a vendor. So it's like you made out. You didn't pull out no money from your pocket and sold your wine. So Dr. Heavenly wasn't feeling that. Her thing was she didn't contribute, she didn't donate, and we needed her money more so than we needed that wine. And Phaedra said, well, I don't really care. She said, because I didn't donate any more champagne than she didn't donate wine, and I can donate. Hello, Miss Phaedra. Go ahead, girl. Loved it. Anyway, I know that the second part airs this weekend, so I'll be watching it. I really hope that they don't focus on negative stuff because I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it. And if it is, I'm writing a letter. Maybe not a letter, but I'm going to come on here and do my video letter. How about that? Please like, share, and subscribe. Doesn't cost a thing. Puts me in the algorithm. Share my video. Spread it out, spread it amongst the masses. I appreciate everyone. Have a great day. Peace.